Hello everyone, Maurice and welcome to Things Invest. Talk about investing, finance, professional development. For today's video, Ethereum only. The investment I'm going to talk about today will be Ethereum ticker ETH. As I'm recording around 3:58 p.m. on the Eastern time, Ethereum is currently trading like the $19-14 level, down about 1.83%. With respect to the equity market today, you could see that we are kind of just hovering on a sideways fashion. Wasn't really moving much, right? With respect to SPY down about 0.80%. With respect to Nasdaq down comparable at 0.80% as well. With respect to Ethereum, in addition to the news that we got earlier today on the Just Position news, comparing basically Cardano, with the Alonso rollout that's expected to happen in the near future versus Ethereum, more of a Just Position, kind of more of a bias, persuasive news, if you may, on influencing investors to be, leaning more towards Cardano as a value proposition going forward, right? In addition to another news that we got about 5 hours ago with respect to Janet Yellen, she's expected to have a meeting with a lot of the financial regulators on Monday to discuss stablecoin, right? And I think stablecoin is a concept that is slowly being adopted among investors that invest in Bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum as well. I'm sure one of the viewers that we have on this channel are also probably investing into stablecoins as well, right? And I think stablecoin is basically initialization or a concept that's being cultivated by the Fed, serving a some sort of like a euphemism to control the crypto market as a whole, knowing the fact that as a basis or the mantra of cryptocurrencies is a decentralized, deregulated type of financial assets, right? And that's the basically the catalyst of cryptocurrencies invention as a whole, right? So I think this is just a way Janet Yellen is trying to enforce some pressure, regulatory pressure specifically, onto the crypto market. So this is definitely going to be some sort of macro catalyst that could be driving the market on Monday. So that's something we have to watch out for. In addition to that, with respect to NFL star Saquon Barkley, which I believe he plays for the New York Giants, the running back, and he decided that from now on, with respect to his salary, his comms, he's going to accept all future endorsement money in Bitcoin only. So that's quite interesting, knowing the fact that an NFL player, a relatively young one, obviously with that chip on their shoulder and an aspirations to build financial wealth and success, put that stamp of approval with respect to this value proposition of Bitcoin, right? Obviously, for an athlete, an NFL star like Saquon Barkley, obviously he has consulted with a financial advisor, which a lot of typical athletes would have. So that serves as an influence. Obviously, this is a great news, for us investors into crypto assets as a whole. So definitely, one is obviously the yelling news was is something that we have to be cautious about, depending on their verbal depictions and how the media affectation is going to spin this story going forward. But the Saquon Barkley is definitely a positive one with respect to the whole overall macro market. Directly to Bitcoin, which is the reason why Bitcoin is currently up a little bit today at 0.03%. As obviously the news got picked up a little bit, and I think it's just released about 20 minutes ago. So it makes sense why the affectation is going on right now. So I'm going to go through a technical analysis again. Now we have this new Black Swan news. Well, not really a Black Swan news, more of a foreshadow affectation that we'll be expecting. So I'm going to go through a technical analysis, see the resistance level that we potentially could get to if we have a negative enforcement onto the regulatory pressure going forward. That could subsequently drive some sell-off across the board. All right, so stay tuned, stick around, let's make some money. Alright, so moving on to the technical analysis for Ethereum ticker ETH. I'm recording as of 4:02 p.m. on Eastern time right now. Current trading like the $19-20 level, down about 1.51%. You can see that Bitcoin is currently up right now. I think this is mainly driven by the Saquon Barkley news that just got picked up. And with respect to equity market, again, today was relatively red, so which subsequently drives some buying pressure onto crypto because of the anti-correlation effect. Also knowing the fact that the weekend affectation is in right now. That's why we're not really jumping down really hard or jumping up really hard either. We're just kind of neutral, so that's why we're kind of down about 1.64%. But we are still within that weekend affectation time period. It still durates until 5 p.m. tomorrow on the Eastern time, and then will subsequently subside and then rebound by Sunday. But now we have this new news, right, from Janet Yellen on the meeting that we're going to be having on Monday, right, with all the financial regulators that's going to be discussing about how they're going to be controlling or putting some tightening pressure onto the crypto market by having something that's called stablecoin, if you may, which is one of their initiatives to try to put some tightening around the ropes, right? So I think with respect to the near term, I think we are still going to be selling off a little bit because of the fact, again, right, the MACD, it is still crossing down, right, despite the RSI is kind of depleting, but I think we still have some room to go down to, right? We're not completely all the way to the cross yet. We're still kind of hovering, around. So we would have a high propensity to go down to more of a comfort level, right? Because 1917 is not a comfort level at all, right? 1916 would be a more substantive level for us to get there. 1900 would be, but 1900 again is not a substantive level either, right? It's more of a flat number that people typically look for to dollar cost average at because it's just a flat number or easy number to look at, right? So the ideal level is more like 1858 to be more specific, right? Which we hit earlier today around like 1849. Not exactly, but we're close, right? So the technical analysis is telling me that we should be going down to the 1858 by tomorrow, contingent on no black swan or positive news that will be surprising us tomorrow, or anything really negative, right? If we have a negative news, definitely getting to the 1850, and possibly even hitting to the 1750. And I think by doing that, I think I ideally want that. Because of the weekend affectation on top of just like ripping off the bandit really, really fast instead of just like slowly peeling off the bandage. Because I know investing can be an emotional roller coaster. It can be painful sometimes, right? But that's why applying logics, understanding that the near-term level 1750 is very ideal, that we could potentially get there. And it's logical based on how the chart is set up right now. The RSI needs to deplete a little bit more for us to hit that cross, and then we could bounce off that cross. And by that time, MACD is basically going to make that curvature to slowly scoop back up. And once we cross up again, we'll have that golden cross, if you may, to pump up all the way back up ahead of the summit. And I think that's a very ideal play. So it's going to be a volatile couple of days, I believe, especially on Monday, and then on the 21st with that summit going on, and then coming up with the FOMC meeting on the 28th, and then subsequently with respect to the London fork that's expected debut on August 4th. So a lot of macro news, a lot of macro drivers, right, it's going to be volatile. So be prepared mentally, but understand that we are, there's a gauge to it. We can calculate by understanding the resistance levels that is not just like completely gambling and you are not throwing your money into a black hole that you don't know where the money is going to, that based on the chart we see in front of us, you have a calculated, formalized way for you to get to where you want to be going forward. All right, so let's recap on our technical analysis again, right? With respect to the level, we are basically hovering between the 1960 and the 1900. And again, these levels are not really substantive per our discussions already in the technical analysis, right? The true level is really the $2,050 level, which is way above this level. And we are basically hovering right now. So we're kind of levitating, not really doing much. Right, so the more comfort level in comparisons to these two, I think 1900 will be a great level to dollar cost average at if you want to choose the two, and I think we have a high propensity to get there. But with respect to more of a substantive level, will be 1850, right, during this weekend. And ideally, I really hope we have a black swan news that's negative that will get us to 1750, because that will rip off the bandage really, really fast. That you hit that floor on the RSI perspective, and then the MACD will slowly scoop up because the resistance level will be pressurized as you hit that floor bottom on the RSI level, that you just immediately have to scoop up for you to form that golden cross that you're looking for, and then we'll keep pumping up from there. That's just the technical analysis on what's telling me, so there's no bias or no emotions in play. Corporate adoption 20%, 9,800, 5 times your money for me. Alright, so that's it for today. Respect my technical analysis on Ethereum again, as well as my second time. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday, and we're looking forward to the weekend. You'll probably see me again tomorrow just to see how the weekend affectation is shaking out. I hope we have a really good news tomorrow for some reason, and that would shock us and subsequently reverse that trends that we have been having consecutively, that weekend affectation, right? But that's more just the psychological safe haven effects that people have typically. They just want to secure profit so they could go on vacations. They could just relax during the weekend without like worrying about their phone app or how much the price is fluctuating. But really appreciate you guys, and please, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. And stay tuned for next one coming up. Take care. Bye.